everyone, welcome back to SG Car Mart Reviews. Now I know it's perhaps not the most commonly held opinion, but I love a wagon. I think they're practical, functional, cool and interesting to look at, and just a little bit of a left field choice, right? So whenever I see someone driving a wagon on the roads, I think to myself, yeah, that person gets it. So what's better than a wagon? A fast wagon, obviously. A fast wagon like this, the new Skoda Octavia Combi RS. If you're thinking about selling your car, try Coates. Coates helps you sell your car quickly and easily. With the new Coates Doorstep, get professional inspection by our certified mechanics at your convenience anywhere on the island. Coates will then auction out your car online to its wide network of dealers to bid on your car. Once bidding is complete, Coates will update you with their best offer price at no obligation. It's that easy. To find out more, visit coates.com.sg. That's QUOTZ.com.sg. Let's first talk about design. So I think this new generation Octavia is a good looking car, whether in combi or fastback form. So I like the sharp lines, the bigger front grille, as well as the sleek lights. So this being an RS model, obviously you're going to get some sportier touches, the black detailing around the grille, around the intakes, as well as along the lower lip. Now let's go check out the side view of the car. I think this car looks fantastic, especially in profile. It's a wagon. Wagons are cool. And particularly, I like the Combi RS because it's a very well-proportioned looking wagon, right? So compared to your standard normal Octavia, you're obviously gonna have a much bigger rear end and it's a little bit more squared off as well. And I think it looks good. However, one particular thing I'm not super keen on are those brakes. I think they look a little bit ordinary on a car that's definitely not ordinary. Now let's go check out the rear. Now at the rear, this is a pretty understated rear. Beyond just having the black lettering, just to denote that this is an RS model, it is quite a simple rear design and I actually quite like that about this car. This is a wagon, so we obviously need to talk about the boot. So this is a gigantic 640 litre boot. That's probably bigger than most SUVs you'll find today. And that means that this will easily swallow up a big luggage. It will very comfortably pass the anti-choice length test. But beyond just being big, it's also a practical and functional space, right? So for example, if you, like me, have to carry a helmet a lot of places you go, there are these little flap things that you can attach with Velcro, and it allows you to then basically just keep stuff whenever you need to. And there's more, there's a whole bunch of things here to help you organize your stuff. So for example, we have this divider here that you can put between two positions. We have hooks all around the boot. And we have something called a variable boot floor. So this boot floor, as you can see, is now completely flat to give you a nice, easy loading space. However, if you need even more space, simply do that and then you have an additional bit of space. The Skoda Octavia Combi RS is priced at $229,900. The 2-litre engine produces 241 brake horsepower and 370 Nm of torque. The 7-speed DSG transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km/h in 6.7 seconds. The Combi RS has a claimed fuel consumption of 15.2 km per litre. For more details on the Skoda Octavia Combi RS or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make a smart choice on your next car. Here in the rear cabin, this is definitely very, very spacious. So we have generous amounts of legroom and headroom, and it's just a nice, comfortable space, right? So this is also helped by the fact that we have this massive sunroof here, so that lets a lot of light in and makes the interior feel even more airy. Now in terms of amenities, we have aircon vents. However, this is only a 2-zone climate control, so we don't have specific controls here. And we also have 2 USB-C ports, and of course we have ISOFIX points as well. Now if I slide on into the middle seat, I must say this is actually a very comfortable middle seat because it's nice and flat and actually really quite wide as well, so you can very comfortably sit here. There is a transmission tunnel, so you could tuck your feet in. However, because I think there's plenty of space on either side, I don't think your passengers on either side will be too fast if you put your feet here. So I think this car will very easily sit 3 adults here in the back. Now let's go check out the front. Now here we obviously have the new generation Octavia interior, and there is the expected digitization, right? So we have this infotainment screen that gives you things like your wireless Apple CarPlay, navigation, etc. And we have a digital cluster as well, and that gives you access to different displays as well. There's also this slight volume control thing here, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I think in the Octavia, it's out of the way enough such that you won't accidentally touch it when you are trying to use the screen. I also like that there are physical controls for things like climate control, your park assist, your drive modes, etc. We also have a wireless charging pad as well as 2 USB-C ports and this new gear knob thing. You'll get used to it after a while, trust me. Now this multifunction steering wheel, it's quite good. I think it's not as intuitive as the ones you find in a Volkswagen or an Audi, but you know, it does its job. One feature that I do like is the fact that with the volume control, when you just hit mute, it actually pauses the track as well. So this is especially useful if you, like me, listen to podcasts when you drive. So whenever you stop and you need to talk to someone, at least you can pause your track. Now in terms of materials, we have this, what Skoda calls suede. So this is like, I guess, pseudo suede or Alcantara, right? And it's a nice feeling material. And we also have these carbon looking finish here. And this being an RS model, we have these sport seats as well. And I like these sport seats. They look good, the materials are nice, comfortable, and it does a good job of holding you if you're going sideways as well. Now, let's go drive this car. Powering this Combi RS is a pretty familiar EA888 2-litre turbocharged engine, and in this particular state of tune it's producing 241 brake horsepower and 370 Nm of torque sent to the front wheels. This is a very capable engine, right? It feels quick enough for day-to-day use, and I think it has enough performance that anyone really reasonably needs in Singapore. You know, if you do want more performance, I think most people probably do know that this engine has a lot of capability that can be pretty easily unlocked. So there's that available if you really want. However, I think what impresses me the most about this car is its road manners, right? So if you're just driving along on the highway at 68 km/h in comfort mode, it's a very comfortable car, right? It's nice and pliant, the suspension does a good job soaking up bumps in the road, and it just feels like a sensible family car. And then of course you can put it in sport mode, sharpens up the throttle, you know, holds a slightly lower gear, you can drop gear manually, and there is fun to be had. You know, it's perhaps not the sharpest driving car in the world, but for all intents and purposes, I think it does what you want a performance car to do, right? You know, it goes quickly, it handles itself well enough through corners, and I like how it drives. I think it drives pretty well. One thing I'm not super keen on is the way it sounds. So this has a slightly sort of nasally, grunty kind of soundtrack, and it's definitely quite synthetic in its sound. So not super keen on that, but you know, that is just what it is. So the new Octavia Combi RS, is it a will buy, won't buy, or go try? For me, this is a will buy. So you know, nowadays there are a lot of hot hatches around, right? You have a lot of choices, and increasingly we're seeing a lot of hot SUVs as well. So yes, the Combi RS is a niche choice, but I actually think that's part of its charm and its appeal. It's different, it's interesting, and it's just something a little bit less common, and I like that about this car, you know. And that's not to take away from the fact that it's a very capable car. It does all the family things well. I think it does the performance thing pretty well as well. Yes, it's not quite as cheap as before, you know, COE be damned, but I still think this is one of the most bang for buck performance cars you can buy today. And I really, really want this car. So that's it for our review of the new Combi RS. Let us know what you think about the car in the comment section below. Also, do like and subscribe to our channel, especially for those who are watching that are not subscribed, please subscribe. And of course, hit the notification bell so you will be alerted of our upcoming videos. We're also on TikTok, so follow us at SG Carmart. That's all I have. I'll see you soon. Bye! 3, 2, 1. Now, let's first talk about Faber. It's gonna bomb again. I need to turn